Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. All right, today we're gonna just do like what's in my coin booth or my photo booth today. And I wanted to show off some recent pickups that I got. And here's an absolute gorgeous 1879 Morgan silver dollar. If you watched my prior video earlier this week, I actually was doing a comparison for if you had like $100 to spend, what would you buy compared to this modern stuff. So here's the modern Morgan, and and at the time, I think the coins I was showing on the screen, and I was shopping on eBay, were all around $76 or whatever. Let me open this one up here. So I was like, if you had $76, what would you buy? Would you go with a modern release, which they're probably going for $100, or would you, now it's showing like these are the Morgans you can get for around the same price as these when they released. So this one caught my eye. I could not resist. Like I said in the video, chances are I might buy it, and I did. So I picked it up. Not so much for the grade or the holder, but this is the type of coin I would buy if it were not even in a holder. I feel the money I paid for it is well worth it. And a coin like this, they're harder and harder to find because most of these end up in people's collections and they really don't hit dealers' tables that often. And if they do, they get snatched up really quick. So this is a $100 coin all day long. And apparently so is this. Which one do you like better? I like the one with mirrors. It's got mirrors on it, guys. Very, very cool. This might be one you want to crack out, send to NGC or send to PCGS and see if you can get at least a proof-like designation. I mean, anytime you can see a nail in the fields, that's definitely deep mirror proof-like. You can't, my nail looks blurry on this side, so this is a proof-like finish. So I would think you would at least get proof-like, but Annex usually is not that conservative either, so surprisingly they didn't put deep mirror proof-like obverse like I've seen them do on other coins. If that were the case, this would be a $200 coin all day long, just because of what a grader says about it. But anyways, I think they're beautiful. I could not resist. So this will be listed in my shop, and anything you see and that I show in my videos is always for sale. So, and if it's already gone, that means someone else has already bought it. So I really appreciate you guys buying stuff from me. And I've been asked too, it's like, why don't you do auctions and stuff on YouTube? And it's like, well, I could, but then like nobody's protected, at least when we're using eBay as a service. It protects you as the buyer because you're guaranteed to get something with a tracking number. And if you don't get it from that person, you can easily get a refund. Or if you do get something, you don't like it, you can send it back for a refund, where it's not so easy to do through YouTube as far as getting a refund. And then myself as a seller, I know that you got it. Tracking proves that I got it. And if you said you didn't get it, eBay would back me up, but they would obviously ask for tracking to prove that it was actually delivered. I've had that happen a few times too. So in addition, I am going to be unwrapping some a sealed Marilyn Monroe trading cards from 1995. I found these stamps. There was a period of time where I think I bought some stamps either from like, oh man, I'm gonna sound really old. I bought it like from a catalog or like not like a Littleton thing, but one of those things where I think you get something in the mail and then they're like, do you want to buy stamps or collectibles? And you get some kind of like stamp club. And this was like one of the things that I got. Or I bought something on eBay and it was just like surprise stamps at the time. And then for some reason I've got a sealed, as they call it, wax packs of these. So none of these are really worth anything of value, but I just like open the stuff. So I'm going to make a video and then I'll probably be selling those cards individually for anyone that's a Marilyn Monroe fan, or I'll give it maybe to someone too. Anyways, these next coins are all from the Netherlands. The queen at the time was Wilhelmina. She was the queen that took over when her dad, William II or whatever, he died, and she took over the throne, I think, at age like 10. So this is her, a little bit more mature because it's 1944. So these are 2.5 Gulden, and these are actually Curacao versions. So correct me if I'm wrong. I believe those were that's like an actual island. Although these looks just like the regular Netherlands. And these are silver. These are 72% silver. I believe they melt out at around 15 bucks. Where is it at here? Yeah, probably around 15 bucks with silver spot at around over a little over 25. And I got all of these in a collection. These obviously are the ones that are worth the most, but they are a D. I think that's a little D there for not Denmark, but whatever, wherever these are minted. And these are nice. Like this is probably a details uncirculated coin, just because of I see a scratch across her cheek there, and that looks like a more modern scratch. And then let's take a look at this guy here. And then I always wash my hands with Dawn soap, so I'm not putting oils and stuff on the coins. But it's got a very cool line in there. It almost looks like like coat of arms. Just very cool, very royal, right? All about the royalty back in the day. It's got a little bit of toning, a little bit of marks on there, but overall, very nice coin. I would probably say this is a nice AU. There's always writing on the side of these too, so this one doesn't have edges. I don't even know what it says. I don't know. It's Netherlands language. And neighborhood I grew up in, it was quite diverse. I had a Negro baseball player, man, his name was Bill. He was super cool. Guy was like ripped too. And he'd always give all of us kids, we lived in a cul-de-sac in the suburbs of Chicagoland. And I mean, this guy was old, right? But man, he was ripped. Like he had muscles and very, very lean. And then his next door neighbor, they were from Sweden. So it was cool to learn. Well, when their parents would, swear at their kids in Swedish because we're outside, we're probably being too loud playing basketball. But those kids were a little bit older than me. And then one of the kids was quite older, and he would always work on cars. And I think the dad like cleaned carpets or something for a living. But very, very mechanical, like very, very blue collar, very hardworking. And then the mom worked at a local drugstore called Perry Drugs. So my neighbor and I would go there and, ride our bikes. Probably wouldn't let your kids do that nowadays, but ride our bikes to the actual store. And she would be the kind of the only clerk there working at the drugstore. And my 2-year older friend, our next door neighbor, we'd go get candy. And other things. And then later on in life, when girls mattered and stuff, we'd go get like hair gel and cologne from there. So it's all kind of a blur, but where we lived, it was like there was a video store. It was the very first Subway. That's when Subway actually tasted good before they used gym mat material in their bread to make the crust rise. There was a Jewel store. Maybe I picked this up at a Jewel store, but there was also a hobby store. There was like a baseball card store next to the Jewel parking lot. But like where these stores were located at, there was basically a busy road that you had to cross. So the parents weren't big fans of us riding bikes across a busy roadway unless you were a certain age. And like nowadays it'd be impossible because the road's double the size. But there's actually a light there now. There was never a light there back then. So it was kind of like Frogger crossing the street on your bike. So this is a 1964 2.5, and obviously it changed a lot as far as the size. Interesting, right? So we've got basically 20 years later, still worth the same monetarily, but they made it smaller. And I believe this is 50% silver. No, it's 72%. So I guess all these coins are 72%. But this melt value is way less. It's like $8, 8, $9 versus the 15. And then we got something really special here. So we have another. Wow, this thing's gorgeous. Look at this thing, guys. See, this kind of stuff you don't see every day. That's really cool. Now, I'm not a big fan of tone coins, but when they get like this kind of tonage on it with like all these different colors, and these are the right colors, right? You always want orange, you want purple, you want blue. You don't want a very strong though, like phony, where like you can tell like someone manipulated the coin to make it toned. So this is definitely naturally toned, and this coin will continually tone over time. So what the reason why these toned coins always go for more too, and again, it's the eye of the beholder. I guess 30, 40 years ago, toned coins were considered ugly, and people would just be like, yeah, that's nasty, just melt it. But now tone coins are like all the rage. But this is gorgeous. Like this definitely should be in a holder, probably PCGS, gold shielded, so that you could really see the toning. And it does look BU to me, but the hair looks a little worn, but that could be because of the toning. Let's put it next to this one here. Yeah, maybe that's just how her hair looks. I don't know how to grade these. I've never sent a world coin to get graded. But judging by the detail on the lion and then the jewels, what a difference, right? Like gem BU and then tone side by side. The tone ones for me, for whatever reason, are harder to sell too, because it's more difficult for me to actually get a nice photo of it. And because a lot of times in my light booth, it'll kind of like drown out the colors. But this is absolutely beautiful. So those other ones I showed were probably going to be like $30 coins. One of them probably be like closer to 25. And then this guy here, this beautiful toner, I'm probably going to ask $60, and someone's probably going to scoop it up right away. Because if it does come back BU and you do send it to PCGS, if that's what you like doing, that's just you just can't find that stuff, right? That's why it's unique. So I think $60 is a fair amount to ask for that. And then this guy here is probably going to be under $20. And the rest of these are just like dimes, so they're just like tinier versions. They're 1/10 or 10 cents, so they're technically 1/10 of a full golden. And here is a full golden here. And that's a more modern one, but that's also got some cool toning on it. Look at that, guys. That's neat. 1957. And then we have a square coin in here. I've never owned a square coin before. Check this out. It's 5 cents and it's square. That's so weird to me. But for whatever reason, that's what they used back then. I don't even know what year this is from. Does it have an annual? Oh, there it is. 1943. What a weird place to put the debate. 19 and then 43. 5 cent. Do we ever have square money here in the United States? I don't think so. I don't think the banks would appreciate it because everything's like designed around roundness. And then here's some other ones. These I think are all the same date. Yeah, 1942. And then these weird ones I think they're also Netherlands, but it's like Indy. Yeah, and these guys here, the melt value is probably like around 72 cents. But these guys are from India? Curacao? Hold on. They have like Arabic on it. 1 second. I'm stupid. It's Indonesian. Yeah, so that's what that writing is. Sorry about that. I had a fly buzzing around, so I had to end its life. But anyways, these guys right here, probably depending on the condition, are a couple bucks. think one of them was like BU. This one's definitely, I think it's Indonesian, but that's definitely a BU one. I wasn't expecting that in the collection. Let's take a look at these here. Yeah, the rest of these are kind of junk silvery. This one looks a little nicer. It's a 1938, 1939. So I've had good experience selling the Netherland coins, but the bigger ones here are much easier sellers because people just enjoy bigger coins. I mean, I enjoy bigger coins. So anyways, let's get to unboxing or unwrapping these cards from 1995. And let me do a little close-up here of this stamp. So 1962. Don't know anything else about it. Just DB10. S. Tome e Principe. And it's kind of weird that they actually have like postmarks on it, but it's all one continuous sheet. I think this is worth about $10. Not really sure, but I literally had it like with paperwork with like old stuff from when I built the house many, many years ago when I was in my 20s. All right, well, let's open up this collection here. It's kind of harder to do on camera. There we go. Just peel it here. Want to preserve those corners, right? All right, let's check it out. Classic moment in the 7-year itch found Marilyn as the girl upstairs more than a match for Richard Sherman, Tom Ewell's fantasies. Marilyn's portrayal of the girl, the ultimate innocent, remains one of her best, despite its sometimes slow-paced. The movie scored a direct hit with millions of moviegoers. Let's see what the other side looks like here. Oh, that's cool. It's a pretty neat looking card. It actually has like a 3-dimensional look to it. It actually looks like an old photograph. So that's neat. All right, this one is early modeling photos. It almost looks like a something out of a book. That doesn't really look like a photograph. That's pretty neat. And then a classic pose of Marilyn from the mid-50s. One of the several used by the studio for publicity. She kind of looks like a mom there. Now I'm 47 years old, so when I saw Marilyn anywhere, it was definitely a rerun, and it was definitely I was a kid. This one's pretty cool. What's movies from that from? Marilyn's Trivia. My epic look Marilyn, the character Marilyn played in 1950, How to Marry a Millionaire. Pretty cool. Marilyn Trivia. 2 minor plastic surgeries in late 40s. The tip of her nose was reduced. It was slightly bulbous, and a minor flaw in her jawline was corrected. Man, imagine getting friggin' plastic surgery in the 40s. That's scary to think about. Did they use real plastic? Was plastic being invented back then? I don't know. That's a nice photo. And here she's got red hair. Marilyn Trivia produced Prince and the Showgirl. Doesn't even look like her. It looks like a totally different person. That's a cool picture. And let's see here. Publicity photo from the 20th century. Fox machine captured Marilyn near the beginning of her film career. Doesn't even look like the same person. This is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, since she's a little bit older. And then the last one here. They said we're not married. All right. Very cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I don't do a lot of removing of cards, but I think it's neat. It's been sealed since I was 1 year out of high school. So, and they're not, unfortunately, none of them are worth like a ton of money, maybe a couple bucks a piece, but I have baseball card stuff where I seal them, put them in these little plastic case thingies. These guys here, actually no, not these guys. That's if you're sending them out. Hold on, it's hard to do this with one hand. These guys, the card saver ones. So you're supposed to take the card. I'll just show it real quick. I've got a bunch of coin slab holders. These things. So you're supposed to take an actual card sleeve. This is how you're supposed to do it. At least this is what I've seen on YouTube. So you're supposed to take the card sleeve, not put your fingerprints all over it, right? So that protects it. And then you're supposed to then take it a harder one so it doesn't get bent. You don't mess up the corners. And then you just put it inside like that. It makes it hard to photograph, so I'm gonna probably like have to take it out. But that's how I ship cards. And then if you do it right, as long as you're not graded, I know I just did a video, but it was like 60 cents. Now it's about 63 cents. But you can get these 5.5 by 4 envelopes that have self-sticking, and these are perfect to ship trading cards in. So as a reseller on eBay, if you have pretty nice cards, again, the card has to be under 20 bucks. It can't be an expensive one, which these definitely are, but it makes it so someone could buy this card for me for $2, and I could ship it to them for 64 cents. So they would pay 64 cents and they would get a nice card. So, but what I think I will do is if anyone makes like larger purchases, I don't think any of these cards are really worth much. I think I'm going to give them as gifts rather than make eBay $1. I'd rather give $1 away. So I would think on any larger purchases, probably like anything decent in my shop. If you buy something from me, you might get this as a thank you, because that's how I am. I was giving away buffalo nickels when I ran out of those, so I got to get back to my coin shop and get some of those. So anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.